Llanowar Elves in our starting hand. Gotta keep it, and Cabaretti Revels as well. So yeah, this is freaking awesome, man. I mean, we can turn 2 Realmbreaker as well, which is pretty sweet. It's just a shame we're going second, because we may lose the Elf. Should I go for Ren on turn 2? That would be pretty crazy. Let's see how we feel. How do we feel? Feast of the Victorious Dead. That's such a beautifully named card. Yeah, let's go for the Ren Realmbreaker here.
I burn with power.
Until your next turn. I'm going to submit 0 because I don't want it to die, and it's tapped anyway. It doesn't untap it.
My voice beckons to all worlds.
It's not the voice I expected, to be honest, for Ren Realmbreaker, but there you go. Should we just get rid of their stuff? Let's just keep killing their stuff that opposes our Ren. And then once we get to the ultimate, I think they're gonna struggle. Unless, of course, they have removal soon. Yeah, 2 turns off, you get an emblem. You can play lands and permanents from your graveyard. That's so broken for a 3-mana Planeswalker. Why do they keep making Ren 6 and Ren cards so broken and, like, bannable? Although, weirdly enough, I haven't really heard anyone talk about this. Sorin. Is that the one that can ping? No, that's the new one. Okay. Elder Gargaroth. Doesn't have reach, but this does. We could threaten. Up to 1 land becomes a 3/3 elemental. Yeah, let's threaten the Sorin. Let's see how they react to this. 6.
Break free and fight.
Because if they block it, they lose the Sorin. If they don't block it, they now can't threaten Ren and Realmbreaker. So, interesting. And now we have a Reacher. How are they going to deal with this? The land has not indestructible, but it has hexproof. So if they have a board wipe, we do lose a load of value, which is pretty annoying. But it doesn't mean that Ren... Oh, yeah. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Turn 2 Ren and Realmbreaker, guys. That is powerful. Welcome to the MTG Josh channel. Here you can see some very fun gameplay of normally varied different commanders trying to use slightly underpowered decks going forward to avoid facing the stronger opponents. And today we're looking at Surrak, who's really powerful, 5 mana 6/6 with flash, can't be countered, and he's just pretty cool to surprise your opponents in their end step. And a lot of people don't really know how to play around flash, so he should be a nice way of taking out control decks, especially because he can't be countered. It's very powerful. Okay. This is risky, but I do want to keep it. Mostly because we've got Team Ascendancy and Uro, which, if you have this out and then play Uro, you can draw 2 cards. And it will die, because, you know, that's just how Uro works. But drawing 2 cards off that is going to be pretty sweet. Hopefully we can resolve and get stuff on the battlefield. So, annoyingly, I think I will cycle this to hopefully get a basic. Okay, we got a land, that's fine. So we can go for Cultivate, and yeah, should be good. Mythos of Illuna can help us get rid of some of their stuff as well. Let's Cultivate first, I think. Reprieve, Mana Tithe. Which one is it going to be? Come on. Oh, so common. I literally just played a game before this where they Mana Tithe me. How can it be so common? The reason, by the way, why I can guess cards so easily, why do you think that is? It's because it's so common. Now what? Surely not Mana Tithe as well. That would be crazy. Okay. For a game with so many cards in it, it is just peculiar how often you see the same cards. It is crazy. What have they got here? They're gonna... What exactly? Cling to Dust. They're probably going to regret that, given that we have an Uro in our hand. I mean, they can just do this over and over again, but they need to exile 5 other cards from the graveyard to do it, so... Looks like we're playing an Orzhov control build, which is a bit disturbing. We can't just play a white-black deck anymore. Every deck has elements of control. Reprieve, I think this maybe was a mistake, giving white access to that. Okay, so Team Ascendancy and Uro seems okay by my standards. That's pretty awesome. Wow. Put it onto your hand from the battlefield. You know what? I'm actually going to pay 2 to freak him out a bit. Let's try and psych him out. They might think, "Ooh, I've got a blue or red interaction spell." I don't really mind paying the 2 there as well, just because we gain 3 with the Uro, so... Sometimes doing a fake out can be pretty effective. Because we're kind of feigning wash away now, but they still might just go... Interesting. That is a shame, because we didn't have the green open for the safekeeping, but... God damn it. So much removal in white-black. And a duress. Goodness me. Just leave our stuff alone, man. Leave our stuff alone. My goodness. It feels bad, right, when you're trying to play your favorite cards and every single turn they are just attacking your hand, your graveyard, your field. It's just, yeah, it can get a bit demoralizing, to be honest, but... Hunter's Insight. Okay, so I guess we'll just pass the turn to them. If they attack with the Skyclave Apparition, we'll just flash in the Surrak. And if they target him with anything, we've got the safekeeping, so... Maybe it was the right decision to do that. Inquisition! Come on, man. I think what we're going to do here is flash in the Surrak and then give it the protection before they can discard it, because there's nothing else they can discard. Now, let's see how good their timing is. So the timing was absolutely atrocious. That just goes to show they're not an experienced Magic player whatsoever. Because what they should have done is wait for me to go for the Surrak, and then let the Inquisition resolve first. Because they knew I had the Hexproof. But they still used the go for the throat before, which is very peculiar. Unless I had that wrong... Yeah, pretty sure they should have waited for this to resolve. And then when this would be on the stack and resolved, if I hadn't used Temporary Safekeeping, then I would have done it before that resolved, and then they would have used Go Through Throat before that. But anyway, I'm going around in circles in my own head now. Swing in here. And I think I'm going to use this to kill the Architect. Oh no, it's going to fight though, isn't it? Hang on a sec. Let me think about this. Tokens, copy target permanent. Fights. Killing the Skyclave Apparition isn't that appealing. Oh, and we get the Battle of Frost and Fire. Which I think is actually okay. Here, 4 damage to each thing. Because Obsidat has 5 toughness anyway, and now we're going to kill their 2 value creatures. That actually worked out pretty well. And then that, but the issue now is they can just exile the Uro, but oh well. Feels pretty good as it is. But yeah, that's like when you think of how lucky certain instances are, like I had the one thing that required graveyard removal and they had it super early. And here's the other weird thing, this card is not even that commonly used, but there you go. What can I say? Am I trying to say it's a conspiracy? No, but Elish Norn. Scry 3. Whoa, okay, Hour of Devastation on top. That's going to be good, because then we can try and kill that. Got Snowland, so this does 3 damage. Let's see what they do. Swing in. Well done. No blocks. So if we go for Garrett's Uprising, we draw a card. Oh, we don't because it stops ETBs. Okay, that is annoying. Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. We will... So neither of us have ETBs. Now we're just playing fair magic. Yeah, that was my bad. One of my famous misplays that people always point out. Yes, I make misplays. Get over it. Jesus. Obstinate. So that's going to get no triggers at all. So an opposing Elspeth, Elishnorn, sorry, will just completely lock out their reviews. So maybe that was good. It's funny how one move can make you change your opinion of a player. Like, he might have then... So, by doing the Garrett's Uprising and not drawing a card, he might now be in a false sense of security thinking that I'm a terrible player. And yeah, I made a mistake, but I don't think my mistake was as bad as theirs because I still get value off my Garrett's Uprising. So, now, whenever you cast a spell, mana 5 or greater, draw 2 cards and discard a card. Alright. So now I'm going to swing in. I don't even care if I lose lots of stuff here. Let's see what they do. It's a pretty big attack. 13 damage total if they don't block. They're going to block the Elishnorn. So we're going to deal the damage to the Elishnorn. They're not going to be happy about this. Down to 7. Blow up their field. Really not bothered about those. See you later. Sick. And then Song of Creation is going to be absolutely incredible here. It's going to just... So whenever you cast a spell, draw 2 cards. At the beginning of your end step, discard your hand. So there's no point playing the Frostbite here. Interesting. So they're going to make that, which we can just kill. We want to get that off the table, so we are going to draw 2 and lose them, but yeah. I'd rather they didn't have any blockers. And because I didn't do that on end step... Ooh. Intervention. So... You know what? I think that's a fine keep, because we can cast that next turn to ensure our stuff is safe from removal, and then... Well, it's going to draw us 2 more cards as well. Here comes Obstinate, so they have to have this as a blocker. Well, actually, they've gained 2 lives, so that does change things. Are they going to make it disappear? Pretty risky. They're going to keep it. I really kind of want them to have removal here. Orcish Bowmasters. Interesting. So are they going to double block? No way. This worked out absolutely perfectly for us. They're not going to be happy about this at all. Oh my goodness. Game over, boys. Come on, don't hit me with that salt now. So unnecessary. So unnecessary. Okay, so you're going to do a 1 damage to the Surrak Dragonclaw, even though I've just given it indestructible. No, okay. Take out their 2 cards. They're at 9, though. It's kind of crazy. Oh my goodness, and a Nissa as well. So we've got to cast this at full power. This is going to be crazy. Wow. Absolutely crazy. Ah, it's a shame we're going to lose those. We're going to lose all of these. Make it really difficult for them to... wow, we just drew like hundreds of cards there. And we got 62. We're going to have to be careful not to mill ourselves out. We can play more. Goodness. And they're still hanging in there. What do they think they're going to top deck? A farewell? Probably are now that I've said it. So we're going to lose all these cards on the end step, which is a shame. I suppose we might as well just go for an extra body, right? The Veil of Summer. Yeah, there's no need to cast that. We're just going to discard it anyway. That's crazy, the amount of value that gives you, the Song of Creation. I absolutely love this. Fantastic card. It is risky, and it does require you to actually have value. But if your commander keeps dying, then I suppose that's really nice. And now they have to deal with multiple win cons. Planar Cleansing would do it, but how many people really use that card? I don't see that used too often. Try and block. Is it a board wipe? So the thing about Farewell is it would leave the Nissa alive. So Farewell doesn't actually help them that much. Meat Hook. I mean, that was a really good top deck, to be fair. Lightning Bolt. So we don't need to, so this discards at the beginning of the end step. Let's Lightning Bolt them here. We don't need to cast Surrak yet. Oh my, that changes everything. Oh, okay. They didn't want to see any longer. Fair enough. Well, to be honest, the vibe I was getting from that opponent, it wasn't a very nice vibe. I know you can't really tell because you're playing over the internet, but I don't know, something about that just felt a bit off. And yeah, I don't know. Moving on. Okay, opponent goes first again, which is weirdly just so common these days. Campbell is good against non-creature decks. Esper Sentinel's going to come down here. No, Curse of Silence. Oh, okay. So Surrak's going to cost 7. Now that is a bit naughty if we didn't have the Broken Bond, but we do. So let's see. Although Broken Bond probably doesn't need to go down just yet. Silverclaw Silencer, man, their deck is just absolutely geared around people not casting their commander, which I find odd because Wizards has literally banned cards that stop people casting their commander. And we're not going to use her ability to untap because then it will be down to 6 and then down to 3 loyalty when it hits. Soul Shatter. Okay, using up all their resources early. I suppose that's fine. Another elf. Land. Well, I guess we might as well do it now. Stop them getting a bit of value from that. Play the land as well. Sweet. And we might as well attack. I mean, to be honest, there's no reason to not. And we're in a good situation now. Vorinclex also survives the Battle of Frost and Fire, so there's that as well. Here comes Campbell. So we could just wipe out their field, but I want to use the elves a little bit longer. Because we could, if we keep everything alive as is. This is crazy actually. 2 forests in a multicolor deck. That is actually super strong. So now 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could flip Vorinclex if it doesn't die, of course. Despark. Now that is a shame. That is a shame. But here's the thing: if we take out everything with the Battle of Frost and Fire, what are they going to have left? We might as well block if we're going to use this anyway. Down to 17. And then I'm guessing they've got 2 more removal spells in their hand, because otherwise, why else would they not be spending their mana? Nice. Resolving that is pretty big. Taking care of their utility things is always going to be nice. And then we can cycle the Shelter Thicket to maybe draw us something else. And then this synergizes with our Surrak, letting us draw 2 cards on phase 3 as well. But yeah, so far they've had some really powerful stuff. Okay, so that's going to reduce damage and stuff, which is a little bit annoying, but settle the wilds. Scry 3. Oh, all terrible cards, so I don't really feel bad about using the settle the wilds here. And we get a Nissa, which is just frigging awesome. Okay, so how much do you want to bet that these 3 are real spells? Blind Obedience, yeah, it's a Death and Taxes build. Okay. Cast something that costs 5. We draw 2, discard 1. So I'm going to... what do I want to do? I don't know. Let's just play this first. Play it max. So Mana Tithe ain't going to work here, my friend. Oh, wow. Okay, let's get rid of those 2. Oh, only 1, isn't it? Wow, we get to keep. Well, if we get rid of that, we can play the red source for next. Okay, so we do. So now we can use the intervention to protect whenever you and another permanent becomes a target of a spell. So let's just get rid of this now, because that doesn't. We don't need to pay 1 for that. Interesting. Do they have protection? Baleful Mastery. No. No, thank you. And now they're screwed. Unless this is Mana Tithe in the hand. If that is Mana Tithe, though, they will be top decking. Why is it always Mana Tithe? Why? Every single... I've been Mana Tithe 3 times today. That's so crazy. Okay. Fair enough. That ultimatum might help us win. This is like... Right, I'm going to give you an experiment, right? Design a Death and Taxes build. Design a Death and Taxes build in your head right now. These are the cards that you'd put in it. Curse, Silver Quill, Mana Tithe, Redain. Like, what? They got every single one. That's crazy. Drain us. We might have to start using this life gain on the Elder Gargoyle there. And her Ragavan as well. Cool. Right. Lovely. Yep, I think we've got this, guys, considering there's not much else they can do. I'm going to kill the Blind Obedience. Now their defenses are low. And this doesn't cast extra cards, it just puts them into play, so that's fine. So now we do happen to get anything with haste. They will be able to attack. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow. And a strangle. It's time to gain some life. A bit embarrassing in a Teamer deck, needed to gain life, but there we go. And we can just... Oh, we need to fetch a red source. Of course, that's why I couldn't use the strangle. It's fine. They're probably not going to block, no. But do we need to do this? Because if they top deck a board wipe... No, I'm not going to do it. Because I'm going to make them feel bad about a board wipe. Elite Spellbinder. Well, luckily the Strangle's not going to be that much more expensive. It's a bit weird and paradoxical to have 2 Surraks on the field. Other creatures have Trample. Whenever another non-token creature enters, it gains haste until the turn. Wow, they're screwed, aren't they? Yep. Surrak with Surrak and Dragonclaw is pretty bonkers. Damn it. Facing a lot of white X control build today. A bit strange. As I said, facing Mana Tithe multiple times, Reprieve. There is a weird bias I've noticed when you use certain decks. So yeah, a bit short and sweet today, but I feel like the matches I recorded kind of got the point across that, yeah, he's pretty awesome, especially with the synergy where you combine him with the board wipes. I think that works really well. I mean, how often do you have a commander that's immune from a board wipe? It's pretty rare. In Commander itself, you know, the paper format, It's a bit more common because there's dragons with flying, obviously, and then there's removal spells that say deal X damage to each creature without flying, for instance. But we don't really see many of those board wipes in this format because those cards are a bit older, so it's a nice treat. Obviously, you've got stuff like Urza's Ruinous Blast, which hits everything but legends, but then it doesn't kill your opponent's legends either. And I think it's super thorough to use something like Hour and Burn Down the House to just wipe everything, including walkers out. So don't underestimate this. In Teamer, the removal you're missing white and black, which is the two heaviest removal spell colors. But just by having these two, it feels like it feels like a lot stronger than it looks, and it really helps because, as I said, the removal's not so great. On the low end, you got Lightning Bolt, Strangle for the 3 damage, Frostbite, conditional 3 damage, Upbraid 3 damage and Destroy Artifact, Bolt 4 damage, Exile. This is so good. This is really good. I used to think the Lava Coil was good, and then they made us hit Planeswalkers, and now Lava Coil's just like, nope, I'm not interested anymore. Brawl Blast, same. You notice all of my red removal spells are catered to do certain things. My logic is you want spells that deal 3, you want spells that deal 4, you want spells that deal 5, just because that's just how the game works at different levels, different intervals. There's not many red spells that deal 6, I've noticed, if any, because if you look, it goes to 4 damage widespread, then it goes to 5 damage widespread, and I can't, off the back of my head, think of anything that does 6. Obviously, in paper, you've got Blasphemous Act. You've also got Star of Extinction, which deals 20, I think. Yeah, that's crazy. And destroys the land as well. What are the standout cards? I think Song of Creation is hyper risky card. You do have to be able to abuse this somehow, but the artwork is beautiful enough to me just include it anyway. Artwork is so strong for me. If you're top decking, this is incredible. You saw what that one turn I had where I had like 1 card and then suddenly I had 8 cards just from chaining into this. It's absolutely ludicrous. Cabaret Revels, obviously probably the best card in the deck as always, just absolutely fantastic. Rhythm of the Wild as well, always go for this if you're making any red-green X decks. The Battle of Frost and Fire, this was really cool. I mean, a board wipe with built-in draw, I mean, what more could you really ask for? It's kind of ludicrous how good this actually is. And on the very top end, we've got Surrak and Dragonclaw, which pretty much helped me win a game. And Genesis Ultimatum, which is just, all the ultimatums are good. So keep that in mind. Some of the best drawing spells, Rich Card's Expertise. This can draw you so many cards and play something for free. Really wonderful. Hunter's Insight. You saw the opponent discard this from my hand. Because combined with Surrak, this basically says draw 6. Uncontested, draw 6. Obviously, you have to hit, but yeah, it's so freaking good. People don't expect it. Garrick's Uprising as well, just to give you a lot of card advantage. And Realm Breaker, easily one of the strongest 3-mana Planeswalkers ever made. I don't really know how they can keep getting away with this. Is it just because the fact that they've made so many strong cards at 3-mana now that no one gives a shit? And it's just part of the course. I mean, Kiora is a tier 1 to God tier Historic Brawl commander. If you didn't know that, that's an actual fact. Check it out yourself. Make it. If you don't believe me, make this deck with Kiora as a commander and see what opponents you get. You will face hell tier. And yeah, do not advise that. It's not fun, but she's powerful, so powerful. Not that I abuse her in this deck very much, but yeah. With all that being said, if you enjoyed today's video and you liked the informative nature and tactical analysis, or my personality perhaps, maybe you would be so kind to check out my Patreon, where you can donate to the channel and help me that way. And if you become the middle tier, the Adult Dragon tier on my Patreon, you get a free video as well, made for you with a commander of your choice. Or if you don't want to do that, you want to donate a single time amount, you can donate via my Ko-fi. And that also supports the channel. So thank you so much for watching as usual. Thank you to all my patrons and members and donators who will be credited after this segment. Until next time. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.